Welcome to Cup of Jess, where the coffee's hot, the truth is hotter, and we're spilling all the real, raw business moves no one talks about. No fluff, just facts. Let's get into it. And welcome to another episode of Cup of Jess. I am so excited to have you guys here and especially have Regina here. She is an amazing attorney here in Houston. And I know we have connected through Instagram and I've been messaging you, sending you a couple of clients, but I was like, no, I need to have her in my show and get to know you a little bit more. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit. You're Houstonian, or where are
Yeah.
you from?
Well, native Texan, born and raised in Victoria, Texas. It's like an hour and a half south of Houston. So I've always kind of claimed Houston. I've always
Correct.
grown up as a little girl, like, I'm going to one day live in Houston. That was always like a big goal of mine when I was younger, growing
Okay.
up in a small town. Um, so yeah, I finally made it here. I think it was 2008. So I did undergrad in Austin. So I
Okay.
lived there for 5 years. Very cool city. I wish I could have actually stayed there after, like, I fell in love with the city being there, but
Right.
it's such a college town. It's just not
It's
something
a
that's
party city,
yeah.
and you're like, if I don't move out of here, I'm gonna continue
I'll never
partying.
grow up. I'd be like Peter Pan. So I came to law school here, actually
Okay.
down the street, Texas Southern,
Awesome.
and so that brought me here to Houston, and then I haven't left since.
Awesome. Well, tell us, how did you get into the industry?
Oh
Tell us
wow.
all about
So
your law
I
firm.
think it was law school or industry, because
Well,
law school I was kind of forced on me. It was one of those things that since I was a little girl, my mom was like, "You're gonna be an attorney," kind of thing. I always play around with my mom that she's like a Chinese mom. We're not Asian at all. But there's actually a book called Chinese Mom. It kind of refers to their like principles and things like that. And she was
right.
very strict, very if I came home with a B, why not an A? True
Your
story.
standards were
Yeah,
always
yeah. True story. I called her. I was so excited to find out that I was graduating with honors for law school. So I called her. I'm like, Mom, guess what? I'm graduating cum laude. And first thing out of her mouth, I kid you not, why not summa cum laude? So that's always, so I've known since I was a very little girl that I was going to be a lawyer, mostly because I wanted to be the first female president. If I'm being honest, that's really what
Ooh.
led that. And my mom was like, well, you should become a lawyer and then that'll help you become the first female president. And then through it all, I think I went through like, oh, I'm gonna be an astronaut, whatever. No, you're gonna be an attorney, and then I just okay, fine. And then I actually love it. I'm glad that
Is
it
there
worked
more
out that way.
attorneys in the family, or is just you?
No, I think she
Ah,
just
okay.
always like
Are
had
you the
that dream
oldest?
for me. Yes, I'm
Ah,
the
okay.
oldest kid, oldest grandkid, all of like the oldest.
Same.
hmm
So they have higher expectations from you. So I get it.
Absolutely.
I totally get it.
Absolutely. Are you kidding
Yes.
me? Yeah. And then law school, I went to law school during the big financial crisis, like 2008.
Okay.
So it was a very scary time to be in law school. There were a lot of firms that weren't doing like their summer internships and things like that. So it was a very, very, very scary time. And I really wanted to do tax law. Yeah.
Really? That would have been
Yeah.
interesting.
We could have been like a dynamic duo, you
Yes.
know? I love the code book. And I was actually a tutor in law school
Okay, okay.
for tax class. And everyone hated taxes. Like, I don't understand how you like this. I'm telling you that when it comes to like reading code, I'm like, oh my God, I love it.
And you have to have like that memory too of like,
Yeah.
hey, you have to have a 2553 and all these forms and the code and everything. So,
I loved it. But to be a tax attorney, you really need to go an extra year and get your LLM.
yes.
And my husband, who was not my husband at the time, I messed up. That's okay. No, he was like, I am not
Hey,
going to
it's okay.
support
We
you.
can talk about the raw and dirty here too. So.
He's like, I'm not supporting you another year.
Oh
So
my
you need to get out
gosh.
and get a job. And my last year of law school, I was interning where I was a law clerk. I was a paid intern for David Peak, who's a Chapter 13 trustee, a
Okay.
bankruptcy trustee. So I was
Okay.
like, okay, this is really like code driven, like federal code. I'm like, I could get with this. I could see this,
Yes.
being my practice area. And I guess, like, as they say, like, rest is history kind of thing for that.
Yes. And then you were like, okay, I'm going to go into bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And what was it that made you, okay, from not taxes that you were like, okay, I guess I have to go get a job. You're like bankruptcy.
Yep. Yep. I think because of that internship changed everything for me. I would have never thought about bankruptcy. I took a bankruptcy class. Funny enough, it was a federal judge that was retired, and he taught bankruptcy at the local law school. But he was older, so he was a little, like, kooky, you know? And so I learned nothing
Yes.
about bankruptcy, bless his heart. I learned absolutely nothing about bankruptcy. But it was really my internship with the trustee that kind of segued me into,
Gotcha.
like, okay, I think this is really for me.
Yes, no, that's so funny because it's the situations in life that you're like, "Oh, I'm never going to do that," or "I'm not interested," and then it takes a turn. Like for me, for example, like I come from the medical field. Never
Oh,
I thought that I was going to
wow.
have an accounting and tax firm, right? So, it's just like life takes turns and you're like, "Okay, well, this is what God wants me to do," and we go
Yeah,
from there. But
absolutely.
so a lot of questions that we do get at the firm is, especially from our clients, is how or why or when should I start a bankruptcy? Because some of them are scared in a way that they start a business, they think that everything's going to flow. And that's why I always advise clients that whenever they start a business, they have to understand that they're not going to see profit for at least, 3 years, or they're just going to break even, so they have
Yeah,
to be prepared, right?
right.
But then when they call me and they're like, "Hey, Jasenia, I need a bankruptcy lawyer because I can't do this anymore." What steps or what is it that you advise your clients before they make that actual
Yeah,
decision?
I think it's a couple of factors, right?
Right.
I think when you are up at night, right? When you have that anxiety, when you're up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning because you are just so overwhelmed and stressed out about debt. Like, how am I going to pay this? What am I
Right.
going to do for this? Or if you start the game, the robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you're getting debt to pay other debt, it might be time. It might be time
Okay.
for a consultation.
Right. Right.
Just because there's different bankruptcies, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna let go of your business or that you're liquidating and starting over. It could be that you're reorganizing, right? That
Right.
maybe if I just had it a little bit more, had a little bit more time, a little bit, different interest, I could do this, but I
Right.
just can't do it the way I'm currently doing it.
Yeah.
It's probably time for a consultation at that point.
Yeah, so that's good that you actually have a roadmap for them.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you go this route, do you think you're gonna need it or not? And then a lot of people, I've met that they get depressed after they do get a bankruptcy
Oh,
because, like,
really?
they're like, I can't buy a house and I can't.
No.
So I'm just like, this is why I need Regina here to help me and clarify this
No.
for our community.
Yes. So, no, I think that's one of the number one misconceptions about bankruptcy is that, oh my God, if I file bankruptcy, I am not going to be able to get new debt for 10 years or 7 years, is normally the number one thing I hear. What they're thinking of, there's usually like a slice of truth in there, but then a lot of
Yes.
it's non truth. So it's whenever you file bankruptcy, it stays on your credit report for 10 years.
Mm,
That does not mean you can't get any new debt or you can't rebuild. You can rebuild the week after we file. I say, hey, go get a secured card, start rebuilding that credit up. You can do that immediately. It's you actually do not need to wait to rebuild your credit for
gotcha.
it to drop off or anything like that. As far as qualifying for a home, for an FHA mortgage, it's 2 years
Got
from your
it.
date of discharge
Okay.
that you can qualify for a home. There's a loophole for that. If you're in a chapter 13, the one where you're doing like a payback of creditors, you're in your case for 5 years and you can purchase your home while you're in the case because you haven't received your
Gotcha.
discharge yet. So it's like a loophole.
Right.
So I see a lot of clients who actually go into chapter 13, they sell homes, they buy homes, they get new
While
homes.
they get above
Yes, and a
water.
lot of them are like, "Oh my god, this is nothing like what I thought it was." Cuz I think people associate bankruptcy like with monopoly, like game over, you've lost, you're, That very shameful, very wrong, very what, but no, I think it's the opposite. Think about if you could go back and be 18 again with all of the knowledge that you have
Correct.
today, how much better you would be and how much higher, how much easier you could build your credit score. That's how you have to think about it because it's a restart, right? So it's like flipping you back, but then now obviously you're knowledgeable. You're not the same person you
You're
were
like,
when you
I'm
were
not gonna make
18.
those same mistakes and I'm
Yeah,
gonna take care of my money.
exactly.
No, that is awesome because this is new to me,
See?
and that's something that we can help with our clients, and I love that we have a referral system because I can just put you guys in front of the professionals. So that's something that I love that clients can know, and if they're in this situation, who to contact and all that good
Yeah,
stuff. And tell us
absolutely.
a little bit about your firm. You have employees. How does
Yeah.
it, if somebody wants to contact you, what is the process?
Yeah, so the first step is always going to be an initial consultation. Initial consultations are no charge. I am a one attorney law firm, so it's just
Okay.
myself as far as the attorney. I do have I work with a team, so I'm not alone. There's 5 of us right now in the office. I'm hiring right now, so I'm looking for 2 more girls to come in. I say girls because it's mostly Latinas that are in my office, just because I get a lot of Spanish clients, and it's very important to me for everyone to speak Spanish. I don't ever want it to feel like there's only one person that speaks Spanish at the office, that
Right.
they can kind of talk to everyone. And I don't know.
Exactly.
Sometimes, with Spanish, you have like one designated person. That's the only person that they can talk to because that's the only person that knows Spanish. So everyone kind of knows Spanish, talk with the exception of me. I am a coconut and I do not know Spanish. I wish I did. But I understand a lot. And what I normally tell my Spanish, like, okay, háblame en español. And I will talk to in English and usually we get along just fine.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm growing a little bit. Not quite yet to hire another attorney yet.
Okay.
But it still has, like, I think that small feel. And I never want to lose that small feel for my law firm because
Correct.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's kind of on brand for what I've built. I want you to feel like you're just like our conversation right now. That's how
Correct.
I want a consultation to feel,
Yes.
that you're just kind of talking to your friend or your sister or your mom about your
Your situation.
situation. And
Correct.
that's it. Like there's no kind of judgment or anything like that. We're just having a conversation and we're going to work through it kind of thing.
No, awesome. Well, para los que no saben, ella tiene su equipo que habla español, así que también pueden contactarla. We do Spanglish here
Yeah.
because we have also una comunidad de hispanos que nos siguen, así que Regina les puede ayudar con las preguntas de bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Así que, so going back to the situation of the community, right? So right
Yeah.
now, for me too, it's very important to focus in the Hispanic community just because, or immigration community, because there is a lot of fear going on, and they either immigration part or with the taxes, economic,
Yeah.
and then we deal with bankruptcy. So do they also go through this process as bankruptcy with ITINs, or how do you handle the
Yeah,
that in
it's a
that
tough
group?
place right now, right? To
Right.
be Hispanic, I feel like. Yeah, you can still file bankruptcy like with a TIN number with not a
Okay.
social. Keep in mind this is a federal proceeding. I always say, okay, talk to your immigration attorney. I am by no means like an expert like an immigration. So if it
Right.
is like a 10 situation, you're using a 10 number, something
Hmm.
like that. I always say, okay, we'll defer, like talk to get advice from an immigration attorney just to make sure that it's not going to mess up. 'Cause some people are like in the qualification stages, some people are like in the process of becoming a citizen, things like that,
Right.
and they kind of want that first start. Um, I always kind of defer for that. But it
Awesome.
is, you are able to file
You're able
though.
to. Awesome. Well, that's good to know. But changing a little bit of the topic. So I know you are a single attorney, um, uh, taking care of business, taking care of the team, family. How do you do it?
Oh God. I don't do it that well. No, I
How do you
try.
balance?
I
Like they say,
try.
there's no balance in life. We just take it as it comes, right?
Right,
It's like, I have to be at a
exactly.
podcast today.
I
Okay.
know. Like yesterday, for example, I got a call. We had a full packed schedule. I got an email actually from my daughter's nurse. She was bawling. She was dizzy. She was at that. She
Oh.
just has a new school. I have twins. I have boy girl twins.
Congrats.
And she was like having a really hard time at school. I think a little girl was being mean to her. It's
Oh
third
no.
grade. So all of those emotions, everything. So I immediately was like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta go. So thank God I have a great team. That's what it's all about. I think having a
Correct.
great team at home. My husband's great about like doing all the things that need to be done at home.
Correct.
And I have a great team at work to where when something like that happens, even though it wasn't ideal for me to leave, if something happens, I know that the place isn't going to burn down. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
vice versa at home too. I can't do it all. I'm not
Correct.
able to do it all. And I think that as far as the home part, that's a little bit of the feminist part in me. I don't feel like I should have to do it all. I feel like that's why I'm married, and that's why my husband is
Has to be
there.
part of the team
Right.
and
He
support.
has to give 100%. When I can give 0, he has to give
Hey,
100
like,
and
what do
vice
you mean
versa.
I have to put gas in the car?
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? I'll send him pictures like you're lucky I'm alive today, buddy. I had to pump my gas. Like what in the hell? I still like to be spoiled, even
Yes.
though I feel like we're team members, but I do still feel I might be a feminist, but I still like some of those traditional kind of things like that. Like I'm like,
Exactly.
come on,
Like,
you want me to
hey,
get mugged or something? Like,
you're like, I'm here at 4 p.m. risking my life at a
yeah,
gas station.
yeah, this is crazy. I
Yes.
want a divorce. I'm kidding.
It's like, do you do divorce as well or no?
No, no,
You're like, no, not divorce,
no.
not divorce cases. But hey, we can give you
Man, that's
therapy.
just so much, man. That just seems like so much like emotions in divorce. I don't think I could ever do
Oh
family
my
law.
god.
Props to the family law attorneys out there because I just that's a lot. It's a
But
lot.
don't you think like I've read that money is one of the reasons, the highest reasons of why people get divorced. What have
Absolutely.
you seen whenever couples come and they're like, we're filing for bankruptcy? Does
Yeah.
that affect their
Well, I
marriage?
feel like everyone who gets divorced should turn around and come to my office and do a bankruptcy. Like get your true fresh start. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
cut you already cut off the 220 pounds. Now cut off the
Oh,
220,000 in debt. You know what I mean? Like let's
yes.
get you like a real fresh
And
start.
it's funny because for me, this is like new to me. Like I'm just here like, what? Like bankruptcy's not bad? Like, okay,
No,
okay.
at
So that is
all.
I love it because anyone that is feeling overwhelmed right now and you're like, you know what, I don't know what to do, this is perfect like information.
Absolutely.
So but so twins and then you said third grade and then
Yeah.
self-care. How does
Oh
Regina like
gosh.
take care of
My
herself?
number one self care is Disney. Okay. I know
Ooh, yes, I've seen
this
you.
is very controversial. I feel like either you're like okay with it or you think I'm a weirdo. Like, some people think like, oh my God, adults who love Disney, like, oh my God, they're just so weird. And oh my God, I think you're weird. Okay. I'm just kidding. But yeah, Disney, it gives me a chance to really connect with like inner child. So especially and I'll preface it by saying this to anyone who thinks adults who go to Disney are weird. Um, I went, I think I was in high school. I went to Disney. I was like, okay, okay. And I came home and I
Yes,
never went again. But then when I had kids, I took them to Disney. And I think that is what completely
change.
rocked my world because, like me and you, we're two adult women.
Right.
If we were to go to Disney together, just us two, we see Cinderella walk by. I'm like, hey, look, there's Cinderella. Okay, cool. We might snap a photo or whatever and go about our day. But if we go with a 3-year old or a 4-year old, then you are automatically now Regina, 4 years old. Look, baby, there's Cinderella. And you get
Yes,
to
yes,
kind
yes,
of
yes.
be a kid. And I'm really trying to make it last because now my twins are 8. So they're getting a little bit older. They know that the characters are like real people inside now.
Yes.
The magic is kind of slowly going away, but I'm hoping it can last as long as it can because again, when we go, I still get to be like 8-year-old Regina, right? When we
Correct.
go now, I still get to like I'm with, my 8-year-old friends and we're going, my kids.
Right.
So I think that that really helps, especially with all the stress from work. It can get very, very stressful, very emotional, especially doing something like bankruptcy. Clients are very emotional.
Yes,
So,
I
and
think that dealing with
yeah,
finance with your clients, your customers, it is an emotional like attachment
yeah.
because there's situation that for me, I mean, even with taxes, they're like, there's no way I can pay this much.
And they're
I
mad
need
at
to,
you.
yes, and
And
I'm
then
just
like
like,
you
I'm
did
the
it.
middleman, like I'm just
Yeah.
the messenger,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why didn't you do tax planning back
And
in
that gets
October?
confusing, I think. And then sometimes people will
Yes,
like lash out like at you. Like, like,
correct,
well, why like you did this to me? Like, oh no, like I'm trying to help you. But I
correct.
think when they're in that vulnerable state, sometimes we can end up being the punching bag. So I feel like Disney is my biggest stress reliever. Like, okay, I can completely unplug. I can be 8 years old.
Yes.
Ain't no 8-year-old filing your bankruptcy. Okay. Like I'm 8 years old. Okay. I'm just living my life, living the
Hey, so
dream, and I come
if
back.
you guys see us together in Disney, you already know.
Mind your business. Okay.
I'm just trying to get that inner child taken care of and self-care as well.
Absolutely.
It's because it's like they say, like you can eat ice cream here in Houston, but you can eat ice
No.
cream in Disney. It will
Right.
be
Why would
like,
I do that here?
yeah, like
No.
it's where you're at and how you feel. So yes,
Exactly.
definitely.
Yeah.
And Regina, what support or what tools or what advice can you give a young lady that is like thinking of becoming a lawyer, going into the attorney route,
Yeah.
that
So,
what prep,
yeah.
what you wish somebody
A
could have
few
told
things.
you?
I think maybe the number one thing that I'm a big introvert. I'm not a very, I don't know. I'm not a very outgoing person. I'm kind of, yeah,
Really?
I
But she loves
know.
Disney.
I know. No, travel, things like that are different.
Okay,
Are you
yes.
catch me like this? I don't know. It's different than being like if we were just like at lunch. I know
Yeah.
that that sounds weird. So I don't know how to describe it.
It's like an introvert or extrovert with
Yeah.
signs of or symptoms
Like
of introvert or
I don't know.
extrovert.
Like I'm shy. Like if you put me like on one, like we were at a party or something. But you put like a mic, you put lights on. Like I feel like it's easier.
Yes.
I don't know how to describe it. Just like I'm very shy, but you get me in court. I can.
Fight.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, or you get me in a podium. I think because it's not as
Correct.
personable. I don't know how. I don't know. But
Yes.
my advice would be to network because a lot of it is your connections which is unfortunate for someone who's so introverted. It has a lot to do with connections that you make. You know how they say the saying is like it's not about what you know, it's about who you
I'm
know.
a big believer on that. And
Yeah,
I always tell my kids it's not who you know, it's not what you know, it's who you
it's
know, right?
absolutely that.
Yeah, like for example, a couple weeks my son broke his clavicle and it's a Saturday and I'm just like freaking out as a mother, right? He's a broken clavicle. What
Oh
about if
my
he moves?
gosh.
But I used to work with an orthopedic surgeon and he is in the medical center and I texted him and I'm like,
Ah.
"Hey, these are the x-rays." He's like, "Don't worry about it." And I'm like,
Oh
I just was like, it's not
wow.
like what you know is who you know,
Yeah,
right? So, or the
absolutely.
same thing about it's you're one person away from reaching your goals.
It's true.
Like and it goes back to what you're saying, like networking, meeting people, making
Yeah.
sure though that you are being careful of, hey, is this a great connection or
Yeah,
you
you
have to
also don't want
also
someone who's gonna bring you down or anything
correct.
like that. And that's what I was trying to teach my daughter yesterday. Like you want people who are gonna uplift you, support you, and like make good connections. You
Correct.
never want to burn bridges, nothing like that either. But you want to make sure that you're making great, meaningful connections. And unfortunately, like me, I didn't have any attorneys in my family. I
Right.
wish I would have, if I could go back, I wish I would have went out there, done more law firm internships. I should have done like I'll work for free. Like, what do you need me to grab coffee?
Right.
Just to like hear and see, like,
How
almost like a
everything
little spy. That's what Kenya always says that whenever we're training someone new, like you should be nosy. And it's true. Like
ask questions.
yeah, you should do tons and tons of internships, even if they're unpaid, and be nosy. Like,
Yes.
try to understand,
Sacrifice.
yeah, from the ground up what is going on in that law firm and learn what's good and learn what's bad. Learn from their mistakes, learn
Correct.
from what they're doing right, and take that with you. And looking back, I wish I would have done that a
Right.
lot more. I really do.
That's something I was reading in a book too, that they say don't read about people's success, read about their failures, because that's how you get to learn.
Yeah.
And that's something as well that I tell my kids, especially right now that this world has so much information out there, and sometimes we can't control what our kids are seeing. I have a 7, 10, and 13. So it's just really hard. And like you said, right now, you have to deal with work and being a mother and dealing with what's happening at school. Like even my daughter this morning, they were like, hey, I have another friend that was being bullied. I mean, and then you have
Oh,
to kind of like, okay, what's going on, and be
yeah.
present and tell them how are you going to behave and what you need to do to
Yeah.
also be that, to defend them, right? Because
Right.
you have to teach our kids to be caring
That's
and
the
also,
hardest job, isn't it? I think
yes,
being a mom is like the hardest job. I'm like, what do you mean I'm in charge of raising these
little
kids?
humans.
Yeah. And like hoping and praying that they're not little assholes. I mean, honestly, I mean, that's all you like. You're like,
Yes.
please, or just let me not mess this
It's like
up.
with my 13-year-old, I'm like, am I gonna like you or not like you today?
It's a
Because
lot of
yes.
pressure.
And then it's hard because I told my 13-year-old, I'm like, "Hey, you're making changes, and this is my first time being a mother of a
Yeah.
13-year-old. So we're both learning. Like
Yeah.
the other two, I kind of like, the other kids are like, "Okay, your brother went through this, but now I think the oldest, and as I'm the oldest as well, we go through more. We go
Yeah.
through
A
more
lot
because our
more.
parents go through that change as well with us, and it's hard to
Yeah.
keep up with him. But no, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your story, and and encouraging also the community as well, like especially
Yeah.
our kids that are growing, that some of them they're like, "Oh, I don't need college." And I'm like, "No, because
And I think
that's
even if you feel like you don't need college, I don't think maybe college, I think college gets a little, and I'm saying that, oh, I went obviously to college, but I think if you feel like you don't want to go to college, like if my kid were to come and say, Mom, I don't want to go. Okay, well, what do you want to do? And go intern there and go work for free and see if that's something that you want to do.
correct."
Is that something like, you want to operate a food truck or you want to go work it and see if that's something you really want to
Right,
do. And
right.
then you come back and you tell me if that's something you really, you know what I mean? I think
Yes.
that's,
And find their purpose, because as
yeah.
well, like that's something I tell my kids all the time, is like, okay, you need to find your purpose in life. I'm over here pushing them more of like, because I have an associate's degree. I didn't finish college,
Yeah.
but yet,
But look at you.
yes, that's what a lot of
Yeah.
people tell me. They're like, you already got more out of the business school, that you're already in
Yeah.
it. And you don't need a
The
degree,
debt.
right? And the debt too. A lot of people are like, I don't know. I would like not go to college because now I have a like $200,000 debt,
Right.
and then especially right now, like a lot of people are having trouble finding jobs too,
Yeah.
and also as entrepreneurs, we're having trouble finding good people to help
Yeah.
us.
That's
So hey,
my
we're also
advice
hiring.
too. Yeah, that's my advice too. I think if you do go to college, get a degree. My undergrad degree is political science.
Ah, okay, okay.
The most worthless degree I think you can get, if I'm being honest. I wish I would have done something like accounting or something that if all else fails, like it's a job within itself. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Like
exactly.
engineering, accounting, something that's not like political science. Like,
Yes.
what are you gonna do with that? I don't hang it on your wall. That's about it, baby.
Yeah.
Like something that has like a job title built in. Like you
Correct.
get what I mean? Like that
Yes.
career pathway is it's in the title of your degree. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like I would definitely advise that too.
Yes,
Just a
no, but now
little
we
free nugget there.
we become the director of the orchestra now. So
Right?
so we definitely are happy to have you here. Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time. Again, A Cup of Jess is just to talk about life, professional and also entrepreneurship. So I appreciate you, Regina, being here and also helping our community, helping our clients. You're our go-to whenever clients come and they're like, I need an attorney that
Thank
can help us in
you.
this situation. And I'm so happy that you were able to
Yeah.
clarify this. And again, we are here with Regina. We will share her information as well. And please let her know, call her if you guys have any questions. And remember, just have your cup of Jess.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.